Hey, I'm Kevin and welcome to our latest series, Let's Play Barre Chords for Baritone. So you may have come across barre chords in some of the songs that you've been learning, and maybe you've steered away from them a little bit because they're a little more challenging to play. Well, this series is all about building that confidence in your barre chord playing. So we're going to attack a bunch of different shapes, do some play-alongs together, and learn how to really get through the barre chord. So get yourself tuned up and let's check out the first couple of shapes. Hey, before we get started, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and click that alert bell so you know when the next video is coming your way. If you're interested in more learning resources, head over to allforuke.com where we have a full searchable library of songs, song sheets, practice tracks, worksheets, and more. All for you, allforuke.com. So the first shape we're going to take a look at is the minor seventh shape. And the reason we're going to do that is because it only requires one finger. So it's a good place to start to kind of get used to playing barre chords and get used to barring all of the strings. So the shape that we're going to use here is for an F sharp minor 7. So all we do to play that is we bar the entire second fret across the D, G, B, and E string. So try that with me. Just take your index finger and take your thumb and put it on the middle of the back of the neck. And while you're doing that, you're going to squeeze your index finger down across that second fret and kind of create that pinch point so that when you play through, each single note should ring out clearly. So go ahead and try that with me. I'm just going to walk through these notes here. So if I hear that, I know I'm in good shape. If I hear something like this, well, I know that maybe I'm not getting enough pressure, or maybe my finger placement isn't exactly where it needs to be. So another little fine-tuning element to this is making sure that you leave a little tiny gap between the actual fret itself and your finger. And when I do that, I also try to use sort of the outside part of my index finger as well, because that's a little harder than the actual pad of your finger. So tilt your finger a little bit towards the headstock to get that harder cartilage part of your finger, and then make sure that you're squeezing with your thumb right behind there. So this is the F sharp minor 7. I'm kind of getting my middle ring and pinky finger out of the way for this as well, but if your fingers are sitting out like this, that's okay too. So there is our F sharp minor 7. Now, something I want to note about this, I want you to think of these as shapes, because when we do the play along, we can actually take this F sharp minor 7 and move it around the neck, and it becomes different chords. So here on the second fret, it's an F sharp minor 7. If I move it up one fret or a semitone, it becomes a G minor 7. I have an entire video called Learn the Notes on my channel. You should check it out if you want to learn more about this. But know that this F sharp minor 7 could become G minor 7, G sharp minor 7, A minor 7, B minor 7 on the 7th fret. So all of those are in play. So what I encourage you to do is try to kind of work yourself up the neck here from the 2nd fret or even the 1st fret if you play it as an F minor 7, and just work on strumming through the chord each time, focusing on making sure all of the notes are ringing through nice and clear. Now, it might be easier for you to start a little bit higher because the strings are a little looser the higher up the neck you go. So maybe you start at the 5th fret if it's not working out down in the 2nd fret. But that's a good place to start, is the minor 7 chord. Now we're going to check out a couple of dominant 7 shapes. The first place that we start with the dominant 7 shape here, I'm going to start with the origin of the shape, which is here, playing an E7 chord. So the E7 chord is just played with our index finger on the G string of the 1st fret, so it looks like this. But if we were to make this into a barre chord, we would bar the entire fret and then place our middle finger on the G string of the 2nd fret. So this E shape, or E7 shape rather, becomes an F7. Or it could become an F sharp 7 or a G7. So it all starts here from its origin, which is the E7 shape, and then when we make this into a bar chord, this is what we have. So again, following some of the same rules we used for the minor 7 chord, we want to keep that thumb right behind our index finger, creating a good pinch point, and we want to make sure that when we pluck through the notes here, you hear that beautiful dominant 7 note in there, all of those ring out nice and clear. So I encourage you, kind of as an exercise, to work on compressing and decompressing. So something that can happens to me all the time. If you're playing bar chords for a long period of time, your hands start to feel a little tense, a little crampy, and you're like, maybe I'll just do this later. I don't really want to play bar chords right now. Well, kind of alleviate a little pressure, kind of press down and squeeze, play it, but then release the pressure so that you give yourself a little break in between when you're working on bar chords, because you do it for a while, it takes a toll. If you start feeling that, kind of pressure in your wrist and your fingers, it's not going to be good for you. So just kind of ease into it, take your time, and give yourself some rest in between. So that is our first 7th shape here, which again came from that E7. Now, if we look at another shape for the dominant 7th, we have our G7 shape. So that G7 chord is played here by just using the E string of the 1st fret. But if we make that into a bar chord, we bar the 1st fret and move up to the 2nd fret with our middle finger. Well, that now becomes G sharp 7. And if we slide over to bar the 2nd fret, that's our A7. If we move it up again, B flat 7, B7 on the 4th fret, C7 on the 5th fret. So this is all pretty cool stuff. So again, these are shapes, you can move them around. So in the play along here, you're going to see a couple different variations of the different dominant 7 shapes mixed in with the minor 7 shapes. So we're going to use a very simple strumming pattern today, because I feel like when you're working on bar chords, you want to completely have your focus on that, not on your rhythm hand. So the strumming pattern that I'll use to demonstrate everything for the play-alongs today is just going to be down, up, clap. So I'll do that here, just holding down the F sharp minor 7 so you can hear it. But what we'll do is get a nice strumming position. Index finger sweeps through, down, and back up with the pad. And then we take our hand and we cover the sound hole for the clap. So we have 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. So that's the strumming pattern. We've got a bunch of chords. I put together a couple play-alongs here now so that we can work on these chords together. And that's the best way to do this, is to kind of put them in context. Play the bar chords within a song structure or a play-along structure so that you have plenty of time to work on getting repetitions at these different chord shapes. So, without further ado, let's get to some play-alongs. If you're digging the sound of my uke, head over to allforuke.com/shop. You can have a Kala ukulele for yourself. When you buy your Kala ukulele through All for Uke, you're supporting us, and we really appreciate it. Make sure you check it out. Concerts, sopranos, tenors, baritones, a wide selection of accessories, capos, and more. All for you, allforuke.com/shop. All right, so for the first play along here, we're going to use the minor 7 shape only. So when we do this, we're going to use the 3 chords F sharp minor 7, G minor 7, 3rd fret, and then G sharp minor 7 on the 4th fret. So we'll do the strumming pattern 2 times per chord. F sharp, G, G sharp, G. So you can follow along below on the blue bar. Here we go, nice and slow. I'll give us a 4 count in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, up, clap. Down, up, clap. Down, up, clap. G sharp. Back to G. Back to F sharp. And G. Focus on getting those clear notes. Make sure you're smiling. We're playing bar chords. Let's take it one more time through this. G, G sharp, G, and then we'll end on F sharp. All right, so for our final play along, we're going to use some dominant 7 shapes here. So we're going to start off with our A7, and then we're going to move to an F sharp 7. So you just keep that bar down, keep that thumb in the exact same position, and focus on moving your middle finger from the E string up to the G string. For the second part here, we're just going to move this entire shape up to the 4th fret, same move, B7 to G sharp 7. We go up 2 more frets to the 6th fret, C sharp 7 to A sharp 7, and then we'll move back to B7 and G sharp 7. So we'll do the strumming pattern, down, up, clap, 1 time per chord. I'll go nice and slow. Follow along on the chords below. Here we go with some 7th chords. 1, 2, 3, 4, A7, F sharp 7, B7, G sharp 7, C sharp 7, A sharp 7, back to B7, G sharp 7. Let's keep it going. Here we go. Stay focused on your index finger. Keep it moving. Compress. Then B7. Last time through, you got this. Up to B, G sharp, and C sharp, A sharp. It's kind of a cool little tune. And the last time, let's end it on there. Well, thanks for joining me for Let's Play Bar Chords for Baritone, Day 1. I appreciate you being here, fighting your way through these bar chords. I promise your hard work will pay off if you do a little bit of bar chord practice every day. I put together a worksheet at allforuke.com. It is free, so if you go over there, hit up the lessons page and you can grab yourself the worksheet. I'll leave a link in the description. I'll have some different chord progressions put together using these couple of shapes so that you get lots of practice at these bar chords. One last thing, make sure you leave your comments below. Let me know how you're doing with the bar chords. Let me know some of the bar chord shapes you've tried before, or some that maybe have been a little more tricky and challenging to you that you haven't got through, but maybe we'll conquer those in this series. So thank you so much for watching Let's Play Bar Chords for Baritone with me. I'll see you next time. My name's Kevin. Take care. Let's